I just wanted to provide a few quick tips on how we can stay positive while we are in quarantine. There is a lot of negative emotions going on in the world right now, a lot of fear, and I think it's dividing us. Half of us are like, whoa, those people are really freaking out. I don't really understand where they're coming from. We're taking a more positive route. And then the other half of us are very worried. We're very worried for our family. We're worried for our financials. There's a lot of fear-based emotions happening. And there's like two different groups of people here, right? And I am totally guilty of making toilet paper jokes because, it's an essential, but just the thought of someone hoarding something because they're afraid they're not gonna have the right thing to wipe their butt with. I don't know, it's just funny, right? Or like, you can't find toilet paper. Like, how are you gonna wipe your butt? Are you gonna have to like spray it? Are you gonna have to get baby wipes? I don't know, it's just like comical. My first tip is with that idea of us being divided and some people being fear-based and some people being very optimistic and positive, it's super important to remember that people are at different stages in their journey than you. Like, people are going to react differently to certain things, and that's not for us to judge how they are reacting. But with that being said, if you are in more of a positive mindset during this time and you see people who are acting fear-based and they're concerned and they're saying things that are just kind of, well, they're wild to you, you don't understand it. You may feel inclined to talk about those people. What you need to be careful of is if you do not understand someone and they're vibrating at a lower frequency than you because they're in a more negative state, then you taking the time to talk about them and put energy into that is actually lowering your frequency, because if you're up here and they're down here, you're gonna have to lower yourself to kind of like try to understand, right? So it's best to just not put any energy into it and just accept people for how they are right now. We can only take care of ourselves, and it really shouldn't be our business what other people are doing. The more energy you put into talking about these people you don't understand, the more you're actually lowering your energy. Facebook and Instagram have a great feature, restrict and mute. So if you don't want to block them or unfollow them, you just need a little bit of space away from them right now. Do that, but talking about them just feeds your energy into that negativity. Focus on your own self and focus on what makes you positive. It's just going to put you in a less positive state to talk about a negative person, right? My second tip is actually on that same note. If you're inspired by someone and they're helping you be positive through this time and providing inspiration, then obviously follow them. But if you are seeing someone that has more opportunities than you do at this time and it's making you feel like, man, I really want that, but I don't have those same opportunities. I don't have that big mansion house. I don't have the ability to travel somewhere really nice and quarantine in peace. Just mute those people at this time, because even if they are putting out positive energy, that's great, but it's all about how that makes you feel. So really watch your boundaries on that. A good example of that is I recently discovered some people who are doing exactly what I've always wanted to do in life. And I didn't even know until recently that this is the sort of lifestyle that I wanted to have until I saw them. And I was so inspired. I was like, yes, this is what I want to do. Everything that they post is like, yes, 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 I want that. I want to be there. But it actually turned into something negative where it was like, they were putting really positive things out there. So it wasn't against them. But for me, like, I only have certain opportunities right now. So I can't embark on the same opportunities that they are embarking on. And it put me in a place of lack and want. Not really appreciating what I have now and wanting more and knowing that I couldn't have that, it put me in a negative state. So what did I do? I muted them on social media, not because I don't love seeing their stuff, but because of my emotions and my boundaries. And that's something that has to do with me, just like it's something that has to do with you. Watch your boundaries and don't follow people who are going to put you in a place of lack. And obviously that's also a clear sign to work on yourself and work on working through that and maybe coming up with a plan like, okay, how can I get that? But in the meantime, just mute them. And to kind of coattail off of the boundaries for my last tip, it's going to be a very obvious one. Obviously, it's about connecting to your passions, discovering what makes you happy, educating yourself right now, picking up a good book. I would say, like Netflix is fine when you want that mindless stuff, and sometimes we need that. We need just a time to rest, but I think this is a great time to like, what are you passionate about? What makes you happy? And on the other side of that, coattail off of that, if there are people that you're surrounded by right now because of the circumstances and they're like really invading your space, then set your boundaries. Let them know, that you need some time, because I'm sure a lot of people are, just like very much in each other's energy, and it's causing a lot of conflict. And hey, if you cannot catch a break from your spouse, your boyfriend, your kids, you can say, I'm going to go meditate. And if you've never meditated before, that's fine. But I would really encourage you to look into meditating, because it really helps. And that can be your excuse to get away from everyone and set your boundaries. Just setting up those blocks, like, hey, like this is my level of happiness. And if you step over this line, then you're going to be getting into that. And that's not okay. Meditating, focusing on yourself. Very obvious tips, but I just kind of wanted to put it out there. So I hope it helps someone. Bye.